The trailer for The Chosen. Crucifixion has finally arrived. And honestly, it feels like a warning more than a preview. Because this is not just another season. This is the season we have been emotionally preparing for. But deep down, we all know we are not ready. The moment we see Jesus surrounded, the silence in his eyes, the fear in the disciples, and the cold cruelty of the world closing in, it becomes clear that Season 6 is going to be the hardest chapter we have ever watched. And what makes it even more terrifying is that we already know how this story ends. But The Chosen is about to make us feel every single second of it, like we are living it. So what exactly does this Crucifixion trailer reveal? What hidden details are fans already noticing? And why does it feel like this season will change everything forever? Let's break it all down together. The Crucifixion trailer for The Chosen Season 6 feels completely different from anything we have seen before. Because from the very first moments, it doesn't try to entertain us. It tries to emotionally prepare us. The trailer instantly gives the feeling that the story has now crossed a line where there is no turning back. We see darkness, tension, fear, and a kind of heavy silence that almost feels painful. And what makes this trailer so powerful is that it doesn't rely on action. It relies on emotions. Every look on Jesus' face feels like a final goodbye, and every moment of the disciples feels like panic mixed with helplessness, because for the first time, they are realizing that they may not be able to stop what is coming. One of the most heartbreaking parts of the trailer is how it shows the disciples slowly breaking, not physically, but mentally. Because they have followed Jesus for years, watched him heal the sick, raise the dead, silence storms, and speak with authority like no one else. And now, they are watching the world treat him like a criminal. The trailer strongly hints that the arrest of Jesus will be one of the central moments of the early episodes, and it feels like it will be intense and terrifying. You can feel the betrayal hanging in the air, and you can almost sense Judas's guilt crushing him from the inside. Because even though Judas made the deal, even though he accepted the silver, the trailer makes it clear that he never expected things to go this far. The fear in the disciples' eyes is not just fear of Rome. It is fear that their entire hope is about to collapse. And this is where the trailer becomes even more emotional, because it shows us that Jesus is not running. He is not resisting. He is not fighting back. He looks calm, almost painfully calm, like someone who has already accepted what must happen. And honestly, that calmness is what makes everything even more disturbing, because it reminds us that Jesus is walking into suffering willingly. The trailer also gives strong hints that we will see Jesus brought before the religious leaders, where the questioning will not be about truth, but about control. The way the trailer presents these moments feels cold and cruel, because it suggests that the decision to destroy Jesus has already been made. And now, they are simply searching for an excuse. We see the atmosphere of judgment, the pressure of false witnesses, and the anger of men who feel threatened by the truth. And even though the trailer does not show everything clearly, it gives us enough to understand that Season 6 will not be about miracles anymore. It will be about sacrifice. Another powerful detail is how the trailer shows Jesus standing alone while everyone around him seems louder, more violent, and more desperate. The disciples are scattered, confused, and terrified. Peter, who once promised he would die for Jesus, looks like a man who is about to collapse. John looks like he is trying to stay close but doesn't know what to do. And the women, especially Mary, look completely broken already, as if they can sense what is coming before it even happens. And honestly, this is what makes the trailer so heartbreaking, because it reminds us that the crucifixion is not just about Jesus suffering. It is also about everyone who loved him being forced to watch it happen. The trailer also strongly hints at the political side of this season, especially when Jesus is taken to Pontius Pilate. And you can tell that Pilate is going to be one of the most complex characters in Season 6, because he does not look like someone who enjoys this. He looks like someone trapped in a decision that he knows is wrong. The trailer makes it clear that Pilate will struggle, not because he suddenly became righteous, but because even he can see that Jesus is not a normal prisoner. There is something about Jesus that makes even powerful men uncomfortable. And then we see glimpses of the crowd. angry, shouting, demanding blood. And what makes it even more frightening is that this crowd is not made up of strangers. These are the same people who once praised Jesus. These are the same people who witnessed miracles. And now they are demanding his death. This is one of the most terrifying messages of the trailer because it shows how quickly people can turn when fear and manipulation take control. The trailer also hints at the moment where Pilate gives the crowd a choice, and we all know what choice they will make. We know they will choose Barabbas. And even though we have heard this story many times, The Chosen is about to make it feel real again. The trailer gives small but emotional hints that the scourging, mocking, and humiliation of Jesus will be shown in a way that will deeply hurt viewers. And I think this is why so many fans are nervous because The Chosen has always been emotional, but Season 6 will be emotionally brutal. The Crucifixion trailer also gives us flashes of the crown of thorns, the pain, the blood, and the loneliness. And the most heartbreaking part is that Jesus still does not look hateful. He looks wounded, but peaceful. And that is what makes this story so powerful, because it is not just about suffering. It is about love in the middle of suffering. The trailer builds suspense in such a strong way because it feels like the world is closing in, like the walls are tightening around Jesus, and every second is pushing him closer to the cross. And even though we already know the ending, the trailer makes it feel like we are watching a tragedy unfold for the first time. The music, the pacing, the expressions, and the darkness in the scenes all suggest that Season 6 will be the most intense season of the entire series. And the biggest reason why this trailer hits so hard is because it feels personal. It doesn't feel like a story from history. It feels like we are watching people we have grown attached to being destroyed emotionally. Because after 5 seasons, these characters are not just characters anymore. We know them. We love them. We have watched their growth, their faith, their hope. And now Season 6 is about to test them in the most painful way possible. And as the trailer reaches its final moments, it becomes clear that the crucifixion will not just be a scene. It will be the climax of everything The Chosen has been building toward since the very first episode. And honestly, after watching this trailer, one thing is very clear. Season 6 is not going to be easy to watch, but it is going to be unforgettable. As the Crucifixion trailer continues to unfold, the most shocking thing is not what it shows, but what it makes you feel. Because this trailer is not simply teasing events, it is warning us that Season 6 will be the moment where hope itself is tested. One of the strongest emotions the trailer creates is the feeling of being trapped, like every character is running out of time. And the more you watch it, the more you realize that this season is not about whether Jesus will survive. It is about how everyone around him will handle the moment when their faith collapses. The trailer hints that the disciples will be forced to face something they never truly believed could happen. The idea that Jesus might actually be killed. And what makes this so painful is that they have already seen him do impossible things. They have watched him heal blind eyes, restore broken bodies, and even raise Lazarus. So deep inside, part of them still believes that at the last second, he will escape, that he will call down angels, that he will show power. But the trailer makes it clear that Jesus is not going to do that. Instead, he will walk straight into suffering, and the disciples will be left confused and terrified. The expressions shown in the trailer feel real, like fear mixed with disbelief, because it's not just danger, it's disappointment, shock, and heartbreak. And this is exactly why Season 6 is going to be different from everything before. Because for the first time, the disciples will not feel like followers of a victorious Messiah. They will feel like helpless people watching their leader be destroyed. Another detail that makes the trailer so intense is the way it highlights the betrayal. The presence of Judas in this trailer feels heavy, like his guilt is already haunting him. Even when he is not speaking, the atmosphere around him feels dark. And it is almost impossible not to feel anger at him. But at the same time, The Chosen has always been good at showing human weakness. So it seems like Season 6 will not just portray Judas as a villain, but as a man who made a decision and instantly realized he could never undo it. The trailer gives the sense that Judas will be tortured by his own mind, because once the arrest happens, he will understand that he has crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. And honestly, that makes everything even more tragic. Because while Jesus is being dragged into judgment, Judas will be dragged into a different kind of suffering, a suffering of regret. And the trailer strongly hints that this regret will build until Judas breaks completely. At the same time, another powerful part of the trailer is the way it shows the religious leaders acting with cold determination. You can tell that their anger is not random. It feels planned, calculated, like they have been waiting for this moment. And what makes it frightening is that these leaders do not look like men searching for truth. They look like men searching for control. The trailer hints that the questioning of Jesus will not be fair, and it will not be about facts. It will be about power. And the way Jesus responds in the trailer is what makes the entire thing so emotional, because even though he is surrounded by hatred, he remains calm. There is no panic in him. There is no desperation. Instead, there is a quiet strength, and that quiet strength makes his suffering even harder to watch. Because we as viewers know that Jesus could stop it if he wanted to. He could destroy his enemies with one word. But he doesn't. And the trailer makes us feel that choice. It shows us that Jesus is not being forced into crucifixion like a helpless man. He is choosing it like a savior. The trailer also makes it clear that the political pressure will be massive, especially when Jesus is brought before Pilate. Pilate is not shown as a simple villain. Instead, he looks like someone who is trying to survive his own situation. The trailer suggests that Pilate will be torn between what he believes is right and what he knows will keep him safe. And this is where the suspense becomes even stronger, because we will see that even though Pilate may want to release Jesus, the crowd will not allow it. The trailer shows the crowd becoming louder, angrier, and more violent. And this is one of the most disturbing things about the crucifixion story, because it proves how dangerous people can become when they are controlled by fear and manipulation. And it's terrifying to think about the fact that this crowd includes people who once followed Jesus, people who once listened to him, people who once believed in him. Yet now they will scream for his death. And the trailer builds this tension so perfectly that you can almost feel the chaos growing. It feels like the world is turning upside down. Another emotional detail that stands out is the way the trailer shows the disciples slowly falling apart. Peter, especially, feels like a man about to break. The trailer hints that we will see Peter's denial in a heartbreaking way. And the reason this moment hurts so much is because Peter is not denying Jesus out of hatred. He is denying him out of fear. He is denying him because he is terrified of dying. And season 6 will show us something deeply human. Even the strongest disciple can crumble when survival is on the line. The trailer also hints at the loneliness Jesus will experience, not just because of the torture, but because the people closest to him will be forced to disappear. And that loneliness is what makes this story even heavier, because Jesus is not only suffering physically, he is suffering emotionally. The trailer also gives glimpses of Mary, and honestly, the look on her face is enough to break anyone, because she is not just watching a teacher being punished, she is watching her son being destroyed. And if The Chosen stays true to its emotional style, Mary's pain may become one of the most unforgettable parts of season 6. Another chilling part of the trailer is the way it hints at the mocking, the humiliation, the cruelty, the crown of thorns, the insults, the beating. And the trailer doesn't show these moments to shock us. It shows them to remind us that crucifixion was not just death. It was public torture. It was meant to destroy a person completely. And the fact that Jesus goes through this while still showing mercy is what makes this story almost impossible to watch. The trailer seems to suggest that even in his weakest moments, Jesus will still be Jesus. He will still forgive. He will still remain silent. He will still look at people with love even while they are hurting him. And that is what makes the crucifixion so powerful, because it is not just a tragedy, it is the greatest act of love ever shown. And as the trailer reaches its darkest moments, it becomes clear that season 6 will not just test the characters, it will test us as viewers. Because we will be forced to watch the slow destruction of someone we love, knowing we cannot stop it. The suspense is not about what will happen, because we already know. The suspense is about how far the show will go, how deeply it will hurt, and how real it will feel. And by the end of the trailer, one thing becomes clear. Season 6 is going to leave people emotionally shattered. Because this time, The Chosen is not building toward a miracle. It is building toward a sacrifice. And the scariest part is that the trailer makes us feel like we are closer than ever to that cross. As we move deeper into what the trailer is revealing, the feeling becomes even heavier, because now the story is no longer about accusations or betrayal. Now it is about the final steps toward the cross. And honestly, the most terrifying thing about this trailer is how it makes the crucifixion feel unavoidable. It feels like every door is closing, every path is disappearing, and Jesus is being pushed closer and closer to his final moment. One of the strongest hints the trailer gives is that the humiliation of Jesus will be shown in a way we have never experienced before in this series. The Chosen has always been emotional, but Season 6 looks like it will be raw, intense, and deeply painful. The trailer suggests that after Pilate's judgment, we will witness Jesus being treated in a way that will shock even the strongest viewers. The mockery will not just be cruel words, it will be physical, public, and meant to destroy him completely. And what makes this moment even more disturbing is that Jesus will not fight back. The trailer makes it clear that his silence will be one of the loudest parts of the season, because while the soldiers laugh and the crowd screams, Jesus will stand there bruised and bleeding, and yet his eyes will still hold a kind of peace that feels supernatural. This is why the trailer feels so powerful, because it does not show Jesus as weak, it shows him as strong in the most painful way possible. Not strong because he overpowers his enemies, but strong because he endures them. The trailer also hints that we will see the crown of thorns scene in a heartbreaking way. And that scene alone might become one of the most unforgettable moments of the entire series, because the crown is not just an object, it is a symbol. It represents how the world mocked the truth, how they laughed at holiness, how they insulted the very person who came to save them. And when the trailer flashes moments of blood and pain, it doesn't feel like cinematic drama. It feels like something real, something brutal, something that forces you to look away, but at the same time forces you to keep watching. Another deeply emotional moment hinted in the trailer is the way Jesus' followers react to what is happening. The disciples do not look like brave warriors anymore. They look like broken people. They look like men who have lost their purpose. And this is exactly why Season 6 will feel so different, because the disciples have spent years believing Jesus would lead them to victory. But now, everything they believed is falling apart. The trailer makes it clear that they will struggle